Dr. Jazz. Dr. Jazz.
This year, the summer, were you able to play something or?
Yeah, I was able to do that. Yeah,
okay.
Played some concerts. I had concerts until the very last day in Italy.
Okay.
Yeah, mid-October.
Yeah, because I saw that one in Lago di Campo Tosto, or like where you played on the sea.
Summer. Yeah.
Oh, that was amazing. The solo I saw.
Amazing scenario. Yeah, really amazing. Really amazing. Never saw a concert like that, and I never, of course, I never had a concert like that. Yeah.
Because the stage was on the sea, right? I saw.
Honestly, I had to get there on the boat.
Amazing.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's really beautiful, and playing solo piano, it's always such a joy. Like I watched today so many footages on YouTube of you playing, especially always the finales. When you do that, I love that.
The medley, yeah.
Yeah. But I wanted first to ask you like about this new solo record, Piano Variations on Jesus Christ Superstar, and it's you really surprised me because you're always surprised me. Like 3 years ago you did the Zappa thing and everything. I mean, I'm kind of used to you that you have this amazing wide scope of musical taste, but again, this was again a surprise. And I wanted to ask you, how did you decide to do this project? Like,
actually, I fell in love with Jesus Christ Superstar when I was 14 years old, and for the whole life, I spent my whole life learning the songs, singing the songs, never thinking about doing my piano version. It just happened to me. I don't know. It just occurred to me when I was, relaxing in a vacation. It happened to me saying, a voice said to me, why not?
Yeah.
And then another voice told me, do you remember that Sir Andrew Lloyd Webber doesn't like jazz musicians playing his own songs?
No, he rarely gives permissions, right?
He never does.
Never.
So it was almost, you quoted, you mentioned Zappa. It was almost the same problem. I mean, they're very careful in giving out the permissions.
Yeah.
But it happened. It worked out. We asked for the permission, I got the permission, and I made the music. And it's a kind of solo version of a big rock opera, which is originally, as you know, is with a big orchestra, choir, and whatever, rock band. So a piano solo version is a kind of intimate version of it.
But how did you prepare for it, like arrangement-wise? I listened to it, and it's like you have sometimes focus on the bass, and then you play the melodies. Or how did you prepare the arrangements for this one? Like, did you check out the original scores as well, or just like by ear? Or
yeah, I did. Finally, for the first time, I checked the original scores.
Oh, wow.
And it was a surprise, of course, because it's full of information. It's packed with information. So you just have to pick up some flowers and decide to work on these flowers and improvise on these flowers, or build a structure upon these flowers. It's full of information. So I prepare arrangements, and then I went into the studio and I played it through the whole thing.
Okay.
The drama.
Okay.
The drama thing. And then, of course, I recorded other takes of some songs. Yeah.
Oh wow, that's amazing. Yeah, it's like this really nice heritage of you playing solo piano, like starting with Smet on La Belle Bleue, and which is like a beautiful program with Prokofiev and Norwegian. I love the Norwegian wood there, and then the ECM solo piano recording, and it's like a really nice way you're going. Like really curious where you will go next. Actually,
well, actually, in this case, I had a precise structure for the first time in my life. You're a musician, so you know what I'm talking about. Yeah. I had the set list before going in the studio, which never happens to me, because usually I have some songs, some compositions. I recorded them. I record them, and then I decide the set list because I need to hear the music to get an idea of what comes next. Or usually at ECM, Manfred Eicher, the producer, he does the set list, which is okay for me because he's a great set list guy. It's a perfect But in this case, I had it. It was the same of the opera. So I came into the studio and I had arrangements. So I had to improvise inside a precise structure, and that's interesting.
That's good, because you kind of answered my question. I wanted to ask you, like, how do you decide, like, for your solo concerts or for solo CDs, the set lists? Because it's like, you know, it's like Beach Boys or Beatles or Jobim or whatever. And how do you, like, for solo piano in ECM from, like, it's 15, 14 years almost already. How did you decide the set list there? Did Manfred help you a lot, or?
Well, I was fortunate on solo piano because Manfred did it for me on that one, on piano solo for ECM. And actually, when I heard the list and it closed with this Beach Boys ballad, it closed with a chord, and I told Manfred, it's amazing. The chord at the end of a record is the same chord at the beginning of a record. And he told me, I know.
Wow, that's deep. That's,
the master of the set lists. I have nothing to say about that. Really, he's a great guy.
Speaking of Manfred, where did you, I mean, I think you probably started working with Manfred through Enrico, right?
Yes, exactly.
And how was it, like, or is it still, or was it like working with Manfred for you? Like, because he's like, of course, the heritage of ECM, I always think of, you know, Keith Jarrett and all these amazing players, Chick Corea, and, you know, how was it like for you in the beginning to start working for ECM for Manfred?
It was quite easy at the beginning because actually Manfred likes music, likes a certain kind of musicians. As soon as he likes you, you can do whatever you want, actually. Then, of course, you discuss with him the project, or you discuss with him, maybe, in my case, I discuss with him later, after I recorded. We discuss after the set list, something he doesn't like, he thinks it doesn't fit in the record, and I do, and then we discuss, you know. But, mainly he's really respectful about the music, of course. So he hires the musicians he likes. That's why ECM has got a style, a precise style, because he likes those kind of musicians.
Makes sense. Because that's the aesthetic. It's always there, like this.
Yeah, that's the aesthetic. Yeah, exactly. It's a project. It's a specific project of his.
But I just wanted to ask you about this solo piano record. Like, there are so many improvisations also there, and free improv. And I wanted to ask you, how do you start a free improvisation? How do you imagine this story always behind it? Like, how do you start a free improv, let's say?
It can happen, of course, as you know, being a musician, it can happen with a different starting point each time. It could be a melody, it could be a chord, it could be a structure. And in any case, what I'm doing is building a structure, and at the same time, I'm walking on them at the same time. So, in a way, I think it's a comic movie would give the idea of the process. That's what is in my head. It's a comic movie. The guy is walking on the bridge, and in the meantime, he's building the bridge.
Makes sense. No, it's funny because
he barely knows where he's going, because he sees something, but it's not clear, because if you're really improvising, you don't really have the ending point. So there's a travel, there's a trip, and during the trip, there's a point where you say, okay, I can stop here. That's the end of my trip. That's how it works. Did you ever think of doing like a completely improvised piano record, or? No, I never did an entire record like that. But usually in all my records there are some.
I mean, but would you like to do that? Like, do you have an idea to do that maybe once, or?
Yeah, why not? Yeah.
Yeah, I like your free impros always because they are so beautiful. I mean, yeah.
Grazie. Thank you.
Really. I mean, but Stefano, I just wanted to ask you. First of all, I'm also quite surprised. I mean, not surprised, in a way, happy that both this record is on your own label, Alabar, and I wanted to ask you. I spoke with many musicians now these months, and many of them have established their own labels in 2020 or even earlier, and just to have more control over artistic freedom and music. And I wanted to ask you, why did you decide to do that? I mean, actually, what's the story behind it?
Well, you already answered, actually, but anyway, I always had artistic control of my music, I have to say. But in this case, you know, it was a question of having control on when the record is coming out, how the record is coming out, which cover, which size is the record. So some artistical and some practical issues. Yeah. So that's why I started. But then I have to say to every musician, any musician who's thinking about doing it, but it's not really a good time for that, because it's you know, the record market is like being this, especially now in this period, because everybody's buying digital music, you know. So it's not a big business. I'm doing it because I love being in control of my music, but it's not a real business, you know. It's not something you make a living.
I know. It's terrible.
Which is okay. It's okay. These are the nicest things in life, the ones that are not giving you money, just for fun. I have my label for fun. That's the answer. I found the answer. Thanks for your question.
That's a good answer, actually. And, but the first record you did for your label was Que Bom, right? The Brazilian project.
Yeah.
That's amazing. You know, I'm such a huge fan of Joao, Bosco, and all those guys. Armando, Marcal. You know, it's you know, he played with Pat Metheny and with all these amazing musicians. And Caetano, I will not even go there. Like that's, you know, it's a different god there. But I wanted to ask you, how did you actually get this amazing project together? Like, it's, I mean, to have like Joao and Caetano and all these basically legends. How did this project get produced?
Well, you know, everything is made actually by personal contacts. I knew all the guys of the band because I already recorded with them Carioca 10 years before that, and we had tours, so we knew each other very well. And there's a new fantastic percussion player, Thiago da Serrinha. He's playing with Hamilton de Holanda, which is a very good friend of mine. I took him from
that's
from
how
Hamilton.
Okay.
Yeah, and then Caetano. I met Caetano for the first time 10 years ago in Umbria Jazz. We shared the night. We played music. We had fun, and we encountered. We had meetings several times during these years. I'm always waiting for him to decide to record a jazz recording for duo, me and him. But it's not happening because he's got things to do. But anyway, in this Que Bom, I had the opportunity to let him sing a song I wrote for his voice. You know, it's easy to write for his voice because he could sing whatever. He could sing Phone That Story and it would be great.
Yeah. But what about Joao? Joao, you also knew before, or?
Yeah, we just met once. And then I tried. I told him, just come and play whatever you want. I would like you to sing Nassau. And he told me, it's okay, let's go. Easy going, Samo. It's very, very nice when it's easy.
Yeah, I know. Now it's such a nice CD because I think you have also such a nice connection to Jobim, Antonio Carlos Jobim, I guess, the music. And so it's kind of nice that you round off this Brazilian story in that project. And it's so nice to have all these amazing guests. Like, it's a beautiful project.
Yeah, it's amazing, actually. Yeah.
But you have so many projects going on, and I just want to ask you also about one story about Morten, And I mean, your Danish trio, Morten and Jesper, how did you guys meet actually? Because like Stone in the Water, that CD and everything else you did, like it's incredible music, but it's so funny, like, you know, you from Italy with Scandinavian guys, it's like, how did this happen, this story?
Yeah, we met, once again, we met because of Enrico Rava. You mentioned him.
Yeah, exactly.
Because he got a Jesper prize in Copenhagen and he was invited to play there. He brought me there and I met Jesper and Morten there and we decided to form a trio immediately.
Wow.
After the first rehearsal.
Yeah.
Great. It was really a big encounter. And had a lot of fun. Now it's going to be 20 years in 2022. We are having a lot of fun because it's you know, the good thing about that is that we are never having rehearsals, which I love this subject because I'm not a fan of rehearsals, you know. Yeah. So I love the way we can just interact on time in present tense.
Yeah, but it's like a really telepathic trio for me almost. I don't know how you see it. Like you know, you go together. You have this collective band sound going on, and I love that. It's how you guys developed this through years. You know, everything. I think the music goes like together. It's an incredible rhythm section that you kept it so long. You know.
Yeah. Grazie. I don't know what else to say. Grazie.
No. I've been, you know, I'm happy. I'm so you know, I love all of your trios, also with Clarence Penn and Scott, you know, Colley. But this one, I think it's special because you can really feel like this band idea behind it, and it's, you know, it's really strong. And but I wanted to ask you about this one.
Jesper and Morten.
Sorry.
I will tell Jesper and Morten. We are supposed to play in Copenhagen in December.
Oh.
Hopefully. We don't know. We don't know about that, but hopefully.
Would be beautiful. Yeah. But what changed for like? There are many gods in music world for me. One of them is Bill Frisell. Okay, and And I wanted to ask you about going from your trio, from your Danish trio, to this one project. I mean, on that album, Joy in Spite of Everything, you had Bill Frisell, and then Mark Turner, who, you know, I played with Mark a little. We did one album, and he's also, you know, he's amazing. And what did change for the trio dynamic when you added those two amazing musicians? And how did you get actually Bill for that project? How was the story behind it?
The story is easy once again, but I simply tried to contact Bill. I never met him. I tried to contact him and tell him I would like to blah 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 play some music of mine with you, etc. I'm a big fan. I love you, etc. And he said yes. Mark Turner said yes because we knew each other. We played together with Enrico Rava. But I tell you, Samo, I never thought about how the trio sound should interact with Mark and Bill, because from the first moment we were a quintet. I forgot about the trio. Usually I never think about something I did while I'm doing something else. So I immediately forgot about our sound.
Yeah, amazing. Yeah, but because
they did it too. That was a different thing. So they never thought about being a trio with guests.
Two people. Yeah, no, it sounds like. I mean, those two guys are amazing players, of course. So it's naturally, it's easy. Yeah, I know.
To play with them. It was really easy, unbelievably easy.
Yeah, I can imagine. Like, but I wanted to ask you. There's on this album. There's this duo with Bill, Teddy, I think it's called, right? Yeah, and it's. I wanted to ask you how you write music. Also, for you write so much music, I think, and how do you write music? Did you have in mind, let's say, that Bill Frisell is going to come on guitar?
In that case, the record is built upon the musicians.
Yeah.
So I knew I was going to play this Teddy as a duet with Bill.
Okay.
And that's it. I never played it. I never played it live. I never played it in another band. And so it's written for guitar and piano, actually.
Oh,
and it's as many jazz composers, I would say, I write something, but I don't write a lot of things.
Oh, okay.
Which
But
are happening while
yeah,
it's a kind of, you know, it's a suggestion.
yeah, yeah.
And then we developed it together, of course.
Oh, okay.
And in this case, the Teddy of the title is Teddy Wilson. Even
Teddy
if
Wilson.
you don't,
yeah.
you don't so much of his music in that duet, but actually it's coming. The main idea is coming from a passage you used to play.
Oh, really? Oh, wow, amazing. But when you write music, do you always keep in mind who you write for? So if you write for Jesper or Morten, or do you know, or do you just sometimes just write music as a write down melodies?
Yes.
Or?
Usually that's how music starts for me. Yeah.
Okay.
I'm thinking about a band, a project, or me alone, or me with a trio, etc., or a singer, a specific singer, etc. Then once the composition is done, I can play it with an orchestra, with a quintet, with a trio, if I like it.
Yeah.
But it's been born for somebody.
Yeah. That's like this Duke Ellington, Billy Strayhorn idea. You write.
Exactly.
Yeah.
You write.
I think I'm really curious about that because you know I'm also like I write music. I don't know. I play duo with Stefano Battaglia, let's say, and I know him, so I will write something for him. Or if I play with someone else, I think this really contributes to the quality of music, right? So.
Yeah, exactly, because it helps you composing because you already have in mind how it could sound. Yeah,
definitely. Yeah, but Stefano, you mentioned Teddy Wilson, right? I wanted to ask you, like, you studied classical music first, but like, who were? Do you remember? Like, I always ask this question. I love this question. I don't know why, but do you remember the first jazz concert? Who was it, or a CD that kind of blew your mind, that where you said like, wow, this is improvisation, what is this? Or
yeah, definitely, yes. It was Charlie Parker playing, because I happened, it's a long story, I happened to have this cassette with Charlie Parker. I was 12 years old.
Oh, wow.
And I was surprised, and I didn't know he was improvising, and I didn't care, actually. I still don't care.
Yeah,
I mean, it's great music. And then I was already playing the piano at that age. I started when I was 6. So I tried to find a jazz teacher in Florence, and then I started learning the piano. And at the very first lesson, he taught me that the jazz musicians were improvising. I didn't know that. I liked the sound. I wanted to know what jazz was because of the sound.
Yeah, it's amazing. But
now's the time.
Ah, wow. Oh, yeah. Okay. But
sounds perfect. The title is perfect. Now's the time.
I love that. Yeah, he was. I still when I teach. Yeah, Parker was for me. It's still. I was just teaching today Donna Lee, you know, a student of mine, and I'm still surprised always when I play these songs. I'm like, oh, 1946 or something, and it's as fresh as yesterday. Or. But who were then the pianists you started to explore when you were going into jazz? Who did you like really dig into?
I fell totally in love. I thought it was two piano players. I thought it was Oscar and Peterson. Then I somehow discovered it was just one guy, and I was really blown up.
Yeah,
that was my first love, and for long time, which means 1 year maybe. And then suddenly they all came all together. Herbie, Chick, Ahmad Jamal, Bill Evans, Keith Jarrett, I don't know, Finest Newborn, Wynton Kelly, Red Garland, all the guys from the 20s, Fats Waller, James P. Johnson, Wilson, there's so many of them.
Yeah, no, that's amazing. You can hear that because also by your repertoire and what you play, you can play everything. I like that. And about you. But can I ask you one question? I just like to touch also some collaborations you did. But first, I would like to ask you, like, you've been a band leader for 20 years or more, maybe like around 20. And what do you prefer, being a band leader or a sideman? Although more or less now you're just being a band leader, but how do you put yourself in the role of a side person, or is it heavy for you to being a band leader? That's what I mean.
It's a good question. It's such a good question that I don't have an answer. I don't have a good answer to that. I have no idea. I would lie. If I told you something, I would lie. I have no idea what happens when I'm a sideman. I'm not so much into self-analysis, probably, because I don't know what happens. But usually, if I am a sideman, it's because I love the guy I'm playing with. So I would be totally on service. But being on his service means also putting myself in, my personality, because he called me, it's because he wants me. That's what I learned from Enrico Rava. And actually, that's the way I decide the musicians in a band. I really like this drummer, so I'm not telling him what to do. I'm suggesting something. Then I love him, so it's okay for me. That's the easy way to music. I mean, and there's another way, which is going on with rehearsals, trying to find the best drummer in town. But this doesn't work. I don't want the best drummer in town. I want the one which I fell in love with.
Yeah. But it's like you started to play with Enrico. How old were you when you started to play with Enrico Rava?
23.
23. And how did he contact you? Like, how did this happen for you? Like,
it happened. We played together. We played together one night. I was comping him with a trio, and then he asked for my number, as in any love affair you can imagine. And he called me back in 5 months.
Oh, wow.
He said, I'm gonna play in Paris with Aldo Romano and Michel Benità. Do you want to come? I told him, yes, I'm coming.
Yeah, that's such a beautiful story that you guys created. I think such a long history. Like, but I wanted to ask you particularly about these two projects. Like, first Tati with Paul. Paul Motion, for me, he's one of the best composers, not only drummers. But how was your experience playing with Paul? And also with Enrico. But how was it with Paul for you?
It was great. It was really great because, as you know, Paul is not really playing the drums; he's painting the drums. And most of all, you don't know when he's gonna paint, which means that he brought a song, and then he told us, "You start, and then I'm coming in after a while." And he never came in. He never came in. So you can hear this song on the record. I'm not sure about the name now, but it's a duo with me and Enrico, and it's a composition by Paul, so it's easy to find. And you have this feeling that these two guys, me and Enrico, are waiting for something to happen. They are leaving space for somebody to enter, and he's never entering. And at the end of the song, he was like, "Hey man, it's great." And Enrico was, "But Paul, you didn't play." "No, but you didn't need the drums. It's okay." I don't know if he made it on purpose, but that's what you get from the song, a feeling of waiting for something. And nothing is happening. It's like, whoa, 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 whoa. It's like a big intro to something which is not happening. It's
amazing. Also, the other record you did, New York Days, which basically starts with you and Paul. Like, it's a duo, right? It's amazing, like, and how he played. But did you ever play concerts with Paul also, or was
we did as a quintet. We did in New York because he was moving from New York at the time. He decided to play only in New York for less flight. And so we went there to play with him after the recording. It was really nice, nice, because they told you he was always doing his own thing, whatever. you could play, you know, bossa nova, a salsa, or a jazz thing. Paul was playing his own thing, and it worked. It worked out because it was so much Paul motion, but it was so musical that it worked out, and you could recognize him immediately.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, it's incredible. Also, like he's such a special drum style and piano compositional style. Like, you know, these ballads. It's incredible. Yeah. But speaking of these legends, I just want to ask you also about your experience with Chick. You know, like, how was that for you? I mean, I know that album Orvieto, of course, but like, how was it like for you to play with Chick and to meet him? Like, your experience, if you can like describe it in few words.
First of all, I was meeting my hero. And so I didn't try. I immediately forgot about that.
Oh yeah, that's
because
good.
He is such a cool guy. So we just started playing. We had no rehearsal, just a sound check for the very first concert. We had no rehearsals. Oh, it was so easy. It's a kind of once again, it's a kind of telepathic feeling.
Yeah.
And what I love about the recordings of our concerts, or the recording for ECM or Vieto, is that I'm not really sure of what I am playing and what he's playing, even if we are really different. We have a really different piano style, and he's a myth, and he can play in a million of styles, you know.
Yeah.
So, but still, sometimes I'm not sure who's playing what, because I have a feeling it's a kind of unique mind moving four hands. That was a moving feeling I had with him. I had it with Chucho Valdez too. The same kind of feeling.
Chucho also?
Yeah, I played with Chucho some concerts.
Really? Concerts. Duo?
Yeah, it's a duo. A couple of years ago, and in Europe and in Cuba.
Oh, really?
And,
wow.
It was the same thing with a totally different grammar, musical grammar, and a totally different music, but still the same feeling of having met a twin brother. A twin brother. It doesn't. Okay, of course, they are older than me. They are wiser than me. They know more things than me. But still, they're twin brothers. I don't know how it works scientifically speaking, but it works for me.
Yeah. No, it's amazing. Yeah, like that version. If I should lose you, with Chick, that's really, man, that's incredible how you played it. But how was it like for you when he basically played the first chord or notes? You must have been like a small kid, right? Or
yeah. No, as I told you, I immediately
forgot about it. Yeah, okay.
That's a good thing about music, but it helps me to stay focused on the present.
Yeah.
Which I'm not usually so good into, because you know, when you're even I'm doing this interview, I could, you know, think about something else could happen, you know. But while you are playing music, it's like boom in the present. So I forgot about Chick Corea and Stefano Bollani. Having fun. I was having fun. It was a kind of having a big cake, chocolate cake in front of me, and the cake wanted to be eaten.
Yeah, that's a good one, actually.
So it's a really a kind of big night. Oh.
Yeah, I think this is also so great with you when I look at your concerts, and that you have so much joy when you do that. That, you know, because I think nowadays a lot of jazz, like really a lot, is way this intellectual, and usually only musicians come to concerts, you know, and it's like, okay, it's 11/8 on augmented and he's doing 5/7 or whatever. I mean, you do all that too, you know, you can do everything, but for you, it's still about bringing joy to people, I think, through your music. I think that's how I feel your approach, if I'm not mistaken, Cor.
No, you're not mistaken. It's exactly that. You already said everything about the subject. Yeah, because it's about bringing joy and feeling joy. First joy, then trying to bring joy.
I wanted to ask you, speaking of joy, how did you decide to do those medleys for concerts? When did this come? Like,
I think it came out because of Victor Borge. Victor Borge used to do that. He was a kind of a great piano player, but also comedian from Denmark.
Yeah.
He used to do that, asking the audience, what should I play? Usually, what you would get was classical pieces, precise classical pieces. That Polonaise by Chopin, that Studio by Franz Liszt. He was great in mastering that and making a medley. And so I just tried, and of course I get a totally different repertoire, from AC/DC to Barbra Streisand, from Handel to Take 5, but it's nice.
Yeah, I love that, because people then go. I think I watched today from Acosta the medley, and I think you played, like, I don't know, it was almost something bizarre, like Old MacDonald had a farm, and then you went into Smoke on the Water or something. It's just like,
it's nice to remind me that music is just one thing, You can get you are here playing Prokofiev, and in just a couple of notes you can get to this funny thing from the movies of the silent era. Whatever. Everything is connected, actually.
Yeah, definitely. Stefano, I just want to ask you one more question. What do you plan for the future, like the future projects? Like, I know you still probably haven't even promoted yet because of the lockdown, the solo project, but what are some of your plans for the future?
Well, actually, I just had a radio show here in Italy with my wife, Valentina, and we are planning a TV show, which is going to be a daily show on the national channel, on Rai 3.
Ah, really?
For Radio Televisione Italiana.
Yeah.
And it's gonna be a big work, because we are trying to talk about music and play music on the national channel, which is all difficult to do, because it's a difficult subject. They think it's a difficult subject, but in this case we're going to talk about music, different aspects of music, not only kinds of music or the way music works, but where does the music come from? Why are we listening to music? How does our brain relate to music? How comes that we like music? What is music? Can music heal? Music a language? And whatever, a lot of questions, just to show that music is it's not part of life, it's life.
Yeah. That's beautiful. Yeah, I think you summed it up so nicely now here. Yeah, great. Thanks so much, man.
Grazie a te, Samo.
For sharing some thoughts about you and your playing. I appreciate it. So.
Grazie. Thank you very much.
Untitled Jazz.